I'm a modular synthesist. I design sounds, and the musical language that I speak is Indian classical, specifically North Indian classical, Hindustani, which I studied as a vocalist growing up in Delhi. And when I was kind of introduced to sound synthesis in my adult life, that's the only language really that I know is Indian classical. So I obviously brought that knowledge with me to this medium of sound design and modular synthesis, and just kind of creating a sound from scratch, and creating a palette and a feeling and a mood in sound from scratch. And I think I just found something really special and unique, because Indian classical music has, well, it's so big, it has such vastness, and I'm a student forever, there's so much to learn in it. And as I learn the music more, as a vocalist, as an instrumentalist, I also get more to explore and get deeper with my synthesis and with my synthesizer, because there's so many limitations in what the synthesizer can do with respect to the type of music that Indian classical music is. And my kind of question is, where is the new world? Or what is the new world that gets created, that gets manifested, that gets realized when you put these two very separate, big and vast and powerful worlds in their own right together. Modular synthesis, I also sing Hindustani classical music, and I'm a programmer. I like building things, so I come to composition and sound design also from a very, logical perspective sometimes, but of course you have to come back to the body and how you feel and how it makes you respond. But I definitely do really like instrument design and building instruments and that kind of nerdy stuff, and modular is great for that. I mean, using the voice, you can do pitch detection on the voice, and then you can convert that number. You get a hertz value, fundamental hertz. You can convert that into control voltage, and that conversion, you can do it in a few different ways. The way I do it is through actually MIDI, fractional MIDI. I should probably do it in analog, it'd be easier. And there's one Eurorack module that does it, but I like to build things, and like I said, I'm a programmer, so I just kind of went for it, but the pitch gets converted to fractional MIDI, which I then have all of the pitch bend data that I calculate and then send it to the synthesizer through Max. And I was using Max, but now I use the Expert Sleeper's FH2 module, which is a fantastic company. I forget where they're based out of, but they do a lot of, they make modules that integrate Eurorack with your computer. That's their whole thing. They're very programmable modules. You can have this one CD out on the module be anything you want, like an LFO, an envelope, pitch, very programmable, right? So using systems like that, you can really, I found that I can really customize what I'm doing on the synth, which is cool. That I have that power to do that. Yeah. And then I can sing something and it'll just track my voice and play it on the synth. The only way I know how to really think about music is in that language. It's like speaking in English versus Hindi, what are you thinking? So Under the Lilac Sky was basically written a little before the pandemic, but really written in the pandemic, and I was living in Castro in San Francisco, and I would just go for a lot of walks after work and just go walk around the Castro neighborhood. California parks are truly magnificent. The succulents were thriving, the sunsets were beautiful, that I just wanted to write something for that magic can exist despite all of the other things not working out, and it wasn't really planned in that way, but I just thought it would be a good idea to put together a piece of music, a full piece of music that is for just like a one-time listening, if you just heard it all the way through, like it's a journey, you're going for a walk. Loosely, you know, some people will say that, you know, the moods don't matter, the time of the day don't matter. Others will be like, no, it does matter. It's really what you make of it. Like, do you feel like the evening when you're playing this rag? If you don't, then maybe it's not meant to be like that for you, or maybe you're finding a different shaped nose in this rag than someone else did. So it is so subjective, and it is also an oral tradition, so a lot of things have, like, you don't really know what's true. You can only believe what you're taught by your teachers, right? And then once you know enough, you can choose whether you believe that or not. And I'm definitely like 100% a student always, and I wanted to explore, like, do the moods feel, do the times feel correct for this? And I really think that, I mean, it could have been a later in the day album, it could have been like a 9 p.m. album, but it felt to me like a 6 p.m. album, you know? It's just a feeling thing at the end of the day. That's all you can do. The only truth is really what you're feeling. Wow, that's really tricky.
Yeah, I'm sorry. No, because for me, for example, it's always about repetition, for example. I like when a track has a repetitive part, and there's something that,
interesting.
Strikes me.
Yeah,
But
I always listen for just sound design, like how is the sound changing, and how is that kind of bringing to life the core kind of melody and rhythm, and like how, you know, the delta is kind of going through. But I mean, if I was to like technically sit down and try to listen to music, that's what I would think about, I guess. But it's funny, like I don't actually listen to, or I haven't been listening to that much music lately because I just finished writing a new album, and when I'm writing, I can't listen to other music. I've just been listening to a lot of Indian classical music. I feel like for the past year and a half, just like pure Indian classical voice and sitar and sarod, and you know, it's like research for me to listen to that music, and I also just really love it. But I feel like I'm coming out of a spell of sorts, and now I'm listening to new music again, and music of my friends, and just music that's out of the world, and I'm like blown away by how much amazing, beautiful music has been released the past year and a half. I don't think I don't dream anymore, which is kind of sad. But probably need to change a few things in my lifestyle for that to reappear in my life. But I think some dreams that I very fondly think about often is when I just started working with modular back in like 2017, like around that period, and I had just kind of discovered this instrument, and I was dreaming about it. Like I was in this romance phase with this instrument because it just like brought to me just so much power all of a sudden. Like I felt like I discovered some sort of sacred secret or something. Like it just like gave me so much capability to like experiment and do create things out of nothing. I don't know how else to explain it. And I was obsessed, and I was dreaming about it, reading about it all the time. I was dreaming about it. Like I was dreaming about patches. My housemates would make so much fun of me because I was having dreams about gear, and it's just like such a. I think back to that, and I'm like, okay, well, I could dream back then, great, but it's quite nerdy. But yeah, I think it was a sign that this is something important, you know, for me, and I'm glad I followed it.